Right, hello ladies, I'm back to show you how to construct this mini book B. Okay, this one's approximately 4x4 and this one has some flaps and pockets and things, and this is the one that's made out of 2 A4 sheets of cardstock. So go and grab yourself 2 A4 sheets of cardstock. If you haven't got A4, grab your thick patterned paper, your pretty pattern paper, cut it down to A4 from 12 by 12 and you're away with us. Okay, so 2 A4 pieces. I've got ivory here and we are going to be cutting on the landscape side, so the long side. Okay, always cutting on the long side. I've written the instructions down as well, so at the end I will show you everything. But I thought I would demonstrate it so that you have a kind of an idea of what's going to happen. So our first piece that we need to do is a 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. Well, I know that my A4 width is 8 1/4, which is why we're cutting on the landscape side. Okay, so I need 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. So I need 4 1/4 this way. So I need 4 1/4. I'm having to fiddle a little bit, ladies, because the legs of my tripod holding the camera are in the way of my trim and scoreboard. So I've had to angle the trim and scoreboard a little bit. Okay, so that's my 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and I'm going to score it. Okay, so I cut it on the landscape way, but now I've turned it so that I can score it, and I need to score at 1 3/4. So I'm scoring 1 3/4, 2, 6 1/4, 6 1/4, and 6 1/2. So I've scored it at 1 3/4, 2, 6 1/4, and 6 1/2. And I can burnish those scores now, which means folding them and pressing them down to get a neat fold. So I can fold these, get my bone folder, give them a good pressing. Okay, so this one will make part of our cover and the back bit. This is the back bit that the main book is going to get stuck onto, and it wraps around to become part of our cover. So that's why we need the spine. Can you see it's kind of made a bit of a spine there, the two folded bits, because when we've got everything inside the book, it's becomes quite chunky, quite fat. So we need the two spines here to hold it all in place. So that's part of the cover. Carrying on again, so remember we're cutting from the landscape side. Well, which way was the landscape? Well, remember 8 1/4 will be the width, because our A4 is 8 1/4. There it is, 8 1/4. So I'm cutting this way, cutting it from the landscape way. So I need 3 pieces 4 by 8. So I need 4 by 8. So if I cut my 4 first, and then 8. So I need to trim a little bit off, because remember this is 8 1/4, but I need 4 by 8. So I'm going to need to trim 1/4 off the end, and I'm going to need to have 2 more of those because I need 3. The spare bit that I had from the first piece of A4 isn't big enough, so I need to get my second piece of A4 now. Remember we're cutting the landscape way, and I need another 4. So I need 4. I need that to be 4. So 4, just there. It's a bit awkward cutting it this way, to be honest. And I need another one of 4, because I need 3 altogether, 4 by 8. So that's 4. Put my spare piece to one side a minute. 4 by 8. So I need to trim 1/4 off this one, because it was 8 1/4 long, the A4 wide. So that one and this one, 8 1/4. I need 8. There we go. Trim that a little bit off there. And these pieces all scored the same way, so I'm scoring them at 2 and 6. So 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Put that to one side a minute. 2 and 6. Keep that to one side. 2 and 6. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and fold all those score lines as well. I'm just rushing because I'm demoing and want you to see. You will take more time over this. So let me fold those there, so there. That one could be a bit better. And there. And then my third piece. Burnish that down there, and that one. Okay, and when the folds are done, when you have folded them in, they should all meet in the middle like that. Okay, they should all roughly meet in the middle. So that's 3 of those. I'm going to put those to one side. Right, you have 2 spare bits left from your 2 pieces of A4 cardstock. Out of these 2 spare bits, you need to make 2 pieces of 3 by 4 1/4. Well, I can't do my 4 1/4 way this way because it's only 3 5/8, and I don't think this is 4 1/4 either, so I'm going to need to use both because I'm going to have to cut them long ways. So 4 1/4 by 3, so 4 1/4 is there. Move that to one side, and 3. Turn it round. Now make my 3. Mark it and cut it. So that's 1 3 by 4. This one I can get my 4 1/4 this way, so 4 1/4 is there. Turn it so that I can get to my 3. So 3. And then you have 2 pieces the same, 3 by 4 1/4. On one of the pieces, you're going to round the corners off on one long side. So I'm going to get my corner punch. If you haven't got a corner punch or anything, just get a 2p piece, something like that, so that you can just draw around the corner, rounded corner. Okay, just get something small, circular, so you can use it as a template. So only round the corners on one of the long side. So you've got those 2 as well. So I'm going to put those to one side a minute. And then the last piece you need from these 2 pieces that you've got left, you need to cut one 3 by 3 3/4. So 3 by 3 3/4. And this is the last piece that you need to cut. 3 by 3 3/4. So pinch it off that end. 3 by 3 1/4. I'm going to move my trimmer out of the way now. And with that last piece that you've just cut, 3 by 3 3/4, you need to round all the corners on this one. Okay, so again, if you haven't got a corner punch, just use a coin or something to give you that rounded edge that you can draw around and then cut out. Okay, that one is the journaling card. So the one with the rounded corners is this journaling card here that's going to go in the back pocket like that. Okay, the rounded corners makes it look nice, but also helps it go in and out of the pocket because you haven't got straight edge corners for it to catch on anything. The rounded corners help it to go smoothly in and out. So that one there is our journaling card, so I can put that to one side for a moment. Right, we have all our pieces ready to start assembling and making the album. So we have the first piece that we had the spines, made the spines, and we have the 3 pieces here that are the same. We have the 2 pieces that are the same, but one of them was rounded off on the corners, and we have our journaling card. I'm just going to move the journaling card out of the way because we don't need that for the moment. Now, this bit, the bit that we made the spine on, okay, that is going to be what we stick the book onto. The inside of our book is going to be stuck in there, okay, and the main part of the book, so this bit here and that page there and that page there, that's all inside the book. Well, we're going to make those from these 3 pieces here that we cut out the same and that meet in the middle, because if you notice here, they meet in the middle. So that is one of our pieces there. The other two pieces go either side, okay, and make these side pages. So we're going to stick that one on there, and we're going to stick that one to there, and then we have that whole bit there. So I'm just going to do that a minute. I'm just going to get my glue, and I'm going to stick straight away to show you. I'm just going to do it really quickly, ladies, just so that I can show you. Glue that bit there. Okay, just going to glue it really quickly so that you get the idea. So this bit, oops, let me make sure they meet in the middle. Yes, they do. Is going to glue on that opening there. Just going to make sure that's nice and tight there. Okay. That one, yep. So just going to press down that side and that side, and then this one, so the other side of the middle one is going to get stuck onto there. Just going to put that on there. Okay, just, oh, that's not quite lined up. Let me just line it on up and line it on there. There we go, and stick that one down. Okay, remember I'm rushing. You will have much more time to do this. Okay, there we have that bit there. So those are our middle ones, like that. That will fold over with a flap like that. That's a flap, so that'll flap in, and that will fold over like that. And then that, remember, gets stuck in there like that. Now if you're finding that this is a bit spongy and a bit like wants to flap open, pop open all the time, just get your bone folder, and where you've now made the new book up, the actual where you've made the book up now, you can burnish the lines, the folds a bit more to get the book to do what you want it to do. Okay, there we go. Now as I say, that bit get stuck in there. Now we are going to stick it in, but I'm not going to slap a whole load of glue and put it on there like that, because I want a pocket, because my journaling card needs a pocket. So there's the journaling card, and that needs to go in the back there, in and out. So if I stick all that down, I haven't got a pocket. So we only need to glue 3 edges. I need to glue here, here and here. That's where I need glue. That's the top. So I'm just going to put an arrow there to remind me that that goes on the top. So I'll stick it over like that. And by just putting glue on the 3 edges means that I can have a pocket. So I'm just going to go and do that very quickly. You will have much more time. You might not want a pocket at the back. It's entirely up to you. You might just want to stick the whole thing down and not have a pocket. But I wanted a journaling card at the back, so I'm having a pocket. So I'm putting that in there, and you'll find that there's plenty of room for that to stick in there quite comfortably. So I've just opened it up now, which means I can really press down where the glue is. Okay, and then that will close back up again. So that one, and that one, and then there and there. So far, so good. The 2 other pieces that you've got left, remember, the 2 that were the same and the one that we rounded the corners, they will become your cover. So those 2 pieces there are what we've got here. That will get stuck onto there, like so. And the one with the rounded corners is the one that goes on the very top, and that will get stuck on like so there. When we open them, we want a pocket to be there and there. So just like in this one, there's a pocket there and there's a pocket there. If you go and stick that straight down like that, again, you won't have a pocket. If you glue that straight down there like that, you won't have a pocket. So what you need to do is you need to cover these with your pretty papers first. So cover front and back in your pretty papers, whatever papers you've chosen. And then just like the back pocket, you only need to glue down 3 sides. So I'm going to put an arrow here and an arrow here because that's the opening for my pocket. So I only want glue to be there, there and there. I only want glue to be there, there and there. So glue on 3 sides, leave the opening of the pocket free, no glue. Then you will glue that, then you will glue that one there like that, and you will glue that one there like that, so that when you open it, because the glue is only on 3 sides, you will have a pocket. You also cover these first in your papers because again, when you've glued it to your pocket, it's already covered in paper. If you glued it first, you then got the problem of how big and where can you stick your paper inside and leave that free, and then it's like, no, cover it with paper first, ladies, and then glue on to the top like that, and they become your covers. Okay, the ribbon then needs to be stuck on, and your ribbon needs to be stuck on the back here. Okay, the back here, the ribbon needs to be stuck on the back so that when you cut out your pattern paper, it will then cover the ribbon, hide the ribbon. Okay, so that's one of the things you will need to do as well before you stick your pretty papers down. Right, ladies, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to show you now the sizes of the papers that you need to cover your pages inside your book. Okay, so the outside front covers, so these 2 bits here that make your cover, okay, the outside and the inside are the same size actually. They need to be 2 3/4 by 4. So your papers need to be 2 3/4 by 4 so that you can stick it on there, on there, on there and on there. And don't forget to round the corners where needed. So that's for your covers. Your back cover, so the one that holds the ribbon in place, your back cover there, that needs to be 3 3/4 by 4. Don't forget to stick your ribbon down first. And then your whole pages, and by whole pages, I mean these ones here. So remember, you've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So your whole pages need to be 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square, and you need 5 of those. So your whole pages need to be 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. All your flaps and pockets are the same size, so they need to be 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, and you need 10. All your flaps and pockets are the same, but you need 10. So you need 1 piece for there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it sounds a lot, doesn't it? And that's how many you need, but they are all the same size. It's just a matter of cutting different pattern papers out that you like, all the same size, and you need 10 of those. And then you just need your extra bits to cover, embellish, like the little tickets in the paper clips that I've used on the flaps. So the ones with the flaps here, I've just put paper clips and little tiny journaling cards and spots, little words. The 2 inner ones, I've just put some twine around and tied, and then that acts as a belly band. So I've got some journaling cards to write on there. My photographs can go on these bigger ones here. So you just need ribbon, some flowers to decorate, whatever you want really. And don't forget the ribbon, which I've just stapled on the top of the journaling card, and I've left my journaling card plain. You might want to cover yours in paper or ink the edges or whatever you want. Yes, ladies, notice no inking on this one. Much more clean and fresh, isn't it? Clean lined and fresh, this one. So there you are, ladies. Those are the sizes, oops, there we go, that you need for your papers to cover the pages. So there's that one, and I'm just going to show you again the sizes of your A4 card that you need to cut. Okay, can you see that? There we go. So you need one piece 4 1/4 by 8 1/4, and you score at 1 3/4, 2, 6 1/4, 6 1/2. You need 3 pieces 4 by 8, and you score at 2 and 6. And you need 2 pieces of your leftovers to be 3 by 4 1/4, round the corners on one long side. And then for your journaling card, you need to cut a piece that's left 3 by 3 3/4 and round off all the corners. And that, ladies, is how you make this lovely little mini album B. So I don't know if you're going to make this one, or if you're going to make this one, or if you're going to do both. How fab would that be? Bye.